Imagine walking into your boss's office and giving notice because your writing has become your primary revenue stream, or your podcast is successful enough that you can quit your day job, or maybe having your marketing on autopilot so you can spend your time on the art career you love rather than on marketing. Are you a creative person who's great at what you do, but marketing makes you freeze? You're not alone. I help passionate, purpose-driven creatives overcome fear, find their brand voice, and build a marketing strategy that works for them. Oh yeah, I also make it easy and painless. It's never too late to grow the business you've been dreaming about. Book an introductory call with me, Rob Southgate, at southgatesmallbusiness.com today. And let's take the pain out of marketing together. Welcome to Alley Chats. I'm your host, Rob Southgate. This is what I did before. You don't understand that after like whatever, 7 seasons or something. Today I have with me comic creator Kevin Krull. He not only has a Kickstarter going, which by the time this airs is long over, okay? But that does not mean that you don't want to follow Kevin, check out his stuff, and see that next Kickstarter that's going to be coming down the pike. And also, I'm going to tell you what it is because you might want to go check it out. And it's for a comic graphic novel called Timewise through Guerrilla Publishing. And I think it's super cool. I think you would love it if you're listening to this show. It's right in your alley. Terrible. I really didn't mean that to happen. But seriously, I think that you'd really like it. So you can still go check out the Kickstarter. Here, I'll put a scroll at the bottom so you can see. There it is. That's the Kickstarter. Just look up Guerrilla Publishing, look up Timewise. You'll see it, and you can check it out there, or just flat out order it. And I'll put links to be able to do that in the show notes. But I'm going to remove that support the Kickstarter because this is August, and this ended in July 3rd or something. I don't know. So, no, it's July 3rd today. It ends Monday. You do the math. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
So, hey, Kevin, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
That was a big, rambly, long intro. So, Kevin, why don't you tell people your background a little bit? You're from Chicago, you said?
Yeah.
Let's hear it. Tell us about yourself.
Basically, yeah. I'm from Chicago. I live out in the suburbs now, and with my wife and 2 kids. And yeah, I spend a lot of time at conventions just trying to sell my book, basically. And yeah, that's it.
Now, is this your first book?
Yeah. This is my first one. I'm working on a second one right now. But yeah, this is the first finished thing that I felt comfortable enough to put it out. You know?
Sure. But you were an artist alley haunt before that, huh?
Yeah. I would basically hang out for a long time since I was, real young. And then, I started a table, God, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 years ago. But I would just be doing sketches and, working with other artists and stuff like that. And then, once this, and the entire time I was working on this, and now it's done. And yeah, I have something.
And it's out in the world. So
yeah.
You were tabling. What were you tabling? Just artwork?
Yeah, basically just artwork and showcase it, the same thing. Trying to get a job writing or drawing someone else's book, basically. Just kind of networking and, stuff like that.
That's how it works. Now, did you grow up in Chicago?
Yes. Yeah.
So the cons, you went to the big ones, of course, like C2E2 and Chicago Comic Con.
Yep.
Did you ever do the small cons around here?
Oh yeah, I've done all the ones in the city in the
suburbs,
in the burbs. Yeah, any place that'll have me, really, I'll go to.
You're there.
Yeah, exactly.
See, that's how you ended up on Alley Chats, right?
There you go. Yeah, I would have liked. Cake was just this last weekend. I would have loved to go this time, but yeah, I've been there before. Never at a table, but yeah, Cake's a pretty good one.
Yeah, Cake's really cool. I also saw there was another. Now, this is in the past for those of you listening, but there was also another one this week, like the Southside Zine Fest or something. I have not been to that one yet, but I have a lot of friends that go. So I think that's in our future.
Yeah, I saw that. I just saw that in my feed too, and yeah, I'd check it out. I have a lot of good friends that are very much into the zine scene. You know.
So, of all these cons you've gone to, who's your like favorite that you've got to sit and talk to?
As far like creator.
Yeah. So we'll make everyone else feel bad. So who would it be?
Who was the coolest one that?
I mean, there's a lot of cool ones. I know that.
You know who really was the nicest guy was Todd Nauck is the first one that comes to mind. He's an artist for I mean, he's drawing for everybody, but he draws for Marvel. He's amazing. And he had a line. I mean, he had a crazy line, and everybody that went up to him, you'd have thought, you know, when I was like, "Oh, I love your art," it was like the first time he'd heard it. He was so nice and just couldn't, you know. I got to show him my art, and he was very complimentary. You know, my big one, that is probably Dean Yeagle. He did a lot of, you know, one panel kind of drawings, but he's worked for Disney and that kind of stuff. But now he's in his 80s, and I just kind of, you know, froze up and was very like, you know, terrified. And I showed him because my style is kind of mimics his. And I showed him my sketchbook, and he just started drawing it. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Oh wow!
Yeah, and I mean, I talked to him for an hour, and I kept being like, "I can leave. You know, am I taking up too much of your time?" He's like, "No, hang out." He was the coolest. He was really cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I've met so many, you know, and you are hard pressed. I'm not going to name who my favorites are because then the others won't come on the show. But you know, it's Artist Alley is the greatest. And when we started this show, it was specifically because we had so many friends in Artist Alleys that had no place to go because of COVID. And it was like they needed to be heard, and they needed people to be able to order consignment stuff. And do you ever do that? Do you ever do consignment drawings, or are you like books?
Oh now? Yeah. I mean, I would do just about anything, you know. That's actually how I got better at drawing. It was like the more cons I would do, like this last one, people would, you know, they come up and they want a character, and I'm not, you know, like Scotty Young can't, you know, will tell you I'm not drawing that, you know, pick something else. Yeah. I'm not Scotty Young, so I was just okay.
I'll draw it all.
Yeah, and like I give you this last one I did on Free Comic Book Day. I had about 10 people come up and ask for Storm, and I don't know how to draw Storm. I was like, okay. You know, like, and it, you know,
why was it Storm? You know,
I couldn't believe how. I mean, I love the X-Men, but I couldn't believe how many people, the independent people, wanted Storm, and I had to learn real quick. And I was actually happy with it. There's been times where I'm like, oh, here it is. Sorry, yeah. But that time, I was like, this isn't bad, and then I just had to remember, like, okay. But,
you know,
yeah.
It's funny how you know, when you haunt the comic shops when you travel too. I'm sure you do that. I do that. Yep. And you see some of this fan art and that people from the comic shop have picked up, and it'll be up on the walls. And you go like, wow, this guy had no idea. He was drawing your version of Doctor Who, and bam, now it's up in a store and everybody's interacting with it. My favorite, we were in Cleveland, and it was free RPG day. And we found this gaming / comic store. So we went in, and my daughter's looking at all this stuff, and I looked, but I was already like at the point where I'm kind of like wandering, right? And I look up, and up above everything is a skateboard. And then I look closer, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's Itty Bitty Hellboy, and it's signed by Art, and I'm friends with Art Baltazar. I'm like, what? So I wrote to him. I said, hey, Art, this is up. And I took a picture. He thought it was the coolest thing. He's like, I remember signing that board. How cool is this? He had no idea. And the guy who owned it was like, wait, you're talking to Art Baltazar there? I'm like, yeah, I'm writing with him right now. Like,
yeah,
it's so cool, man.
That just happened to me over the weekend. I was on vacation with Wisconsin Dells with my mother-in-law and my brother-in-law and my wife. And we were watching Svengoolie, and they had an advertisement for the t-shirt or a comic book or whatever it is. Yeah. And, you know, Franco and Art came up, and I was like, I know those guys.
Like, they're awesome. Right. And
yeah,
see that's a great example of why I love Artist Alley so much, because most of the people I encounter are like that, you know, just really cool. And they're nerds too. They like to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
So
once you get over the hump of like, you know, those guys in particular make it so easy because they're just the nicest guys. But yeah, once you get over the hump of like being starstruck, it's the best because we're all into the same things, you know.
Yeah,
it's,
truly. Well, and the ones that aren't usually don't last very long. Like people that when they're in Artist Alley and they're a jerk, everybody walking around is like, yeah, don't go to that table. He's a big jerk. It's like, okay, that's gonna end that too. So of all the cons you've been to, what's your favorite? What's the one that you're like, man, that is the one?
The best one. You know what one was really good, and I haven't been to it in a couple of years. I don't even know if they still do it. It was I think it was in Ohio. It was called Planet Funk Con.
Oh, and I like that name.
And I had gotten, I forgot. I'd gotten a recommendation from another artist at another show. Like you should check this one out. And I was like, yeah, maybe. And it was just really cool. I didn't sell anything that weekend, but
not as cool as it could have been. But.
Well, yeah, but I mean, as far as the talent that was there was a lot of really great talent. It was cheap to get into. I think it was like $10 to get in the door.
That's great.
All the artists were very, very cool. I made a lot of friends that like I still, talk to, and that was a big one.
That's cool. I love that. So your book is time travel based. Let's get into that. People on this show haven't heard, unless they listen to the GoFundMe episode, they haven't heard what the premise of Timewise is. Give us the overview.
It's basically about a guy who is, he's kind of a loner. And he gets into a relationship that is going really well, and he has to tell his his girlfriend that he has been building a time machine for the last few years. And then as things are going really well, his future self comes to visit him, and they don't get along at all. They one of them thinks, he thinks he's a jerk, and the other one thinks he's an idiot. So like, that's basically, it's a hard jumping off point. So, that and then they go from there,
Now, in your opinion, is one more the jerk, or are they both jerks?
Well, the older one is bitter because he's screwed everything up, but like he's smarter, because he's been through more. But and the younger one is a little like naive, but the other one is I think I'd probably want to hang out with the younger one, but
okay. So technically, neither one is a huge jerk, but to somebody else they might be, or
they're not wrong, but they're both kind of. Yeah.
What about the girlfriend? Does she realize he's a jerk? Or
oh yeah, and her future self comes back as well. And yeah, she's kind of, she doesn't know anything about any of this. He's worried about a lot of the scientific stuff, like breaking the space-time all that stuff.
Yeah, right.
And she's just kind of along for the ride, and
don't interact with yourself, Marty. Don't, whatever you do.
Yeah, which is just out the window.
And she's just like, come on, I'm here.
Yeah, what am I supposed to do? Yeah, they're here. Like, and he's, yeah. And so that's the other thing. The older one knows more about science. So he's like, don't worry about it. I figured this out.
So the younger one's freaking out, and the older one's a little more casual. Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Once again, Back to the Future. If you watch, older Doc is very different than younger Doc.
Yeah. I just watched it last night, weirdly.
Did you?
Yeah. It went up on Disney Plus, and we watched 1 and 2.
Okay, that's weird, because yesterday I saw it on Disney Plus, and I watched it while I was working. And I was just telling my wife, I'm like, I haven't seen this in years, and it was so much fun to watch.
It's great. It's great to sit down and really watch, and then it's great to have on in the background. It's just,
Now, are you a time travel guy? Is that like you really love that, or is it like, this is this story and I'm moving on to the next thing then?
I was always a big time travel guy. And the thing about this story too was that a lot of times, like, science fiction gets mixed in with action, like that there's not a lot of, I mean, Back to the Future is one, obviously, but a lot of times that, we mix up our science fiction with that kind of stuff. And this was the kind of story that I was like, that I would want to read. Like, it was was surprised this doesn't exist. Like a story about a guy that's, basically having dinner with his, future self.
Right.
And so
I really like that idea. I think that's fun.
Yeah. But that was basically it. And I'm always, it's the time travel hook is usually, if I see that on something, it at least gets me interested. Like if I see a movie and nothing, nothing bugs me more than when I watch something and it doesn't, they don't follow the rule. Like they establish the time travel rules and they don't abide by them, like it's you know what I mean?
Sure. I do. Now, are you a Doctor Who fan?
I've tried a bunch of times and I liked it, but I've always just fallen off for whatever reason. I started with the Eccleston.
Not enough episodes for you? Is that
yeah, there's just not enough of it. But
I don't want to get involved in something that's only got, a handful.
Right. But yeah, I've dabbled, but I've never really gone, hard like something.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting one because we're big fans around here. And I talk to a lot of fans, but it's interesting because I think it depends on your entry point. I think it depends on which doctor you're involved with. And then it's your doctor. Like I have two that I'm like, that's my doctor. And if I had jumped in other places, I don't know if it would have captured me ever.
Yeah, I'm a Star Trek guy, and all that applies to Star Trek as well.
It totally does. It totally does. Enterprise is the one that I always hear people are like, and it's like, I went back and I watched the pilot to Enterprise again, and I was like, you know what? This is really good. It's not what people are saying. So yeah, Star Trek can be, and oh my God, so many people hate the original series. And I'm like, I grew up with it. I still love it.
Yeah, I love it. But I started with Next Gen and then went back and I think I went right to I always I dipped my toe into the original series and it didn't do it for me. And then I think it was after DS9, I went and did the original series and all the movies. And I love the original series now. Like starting, if you try and start with Enterprise, it's, that's not going to work,
No.
But yeah, you gotta,
Well, even the new ones, like as cool as Brave New World is, I think if you start there, the other stuff's not going to work for you.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I agree. Yeah. And I don't think I've ever done Brave New World or Strange New Worlds, right? Yeah,
Strange New World.
I did.
I get it wrong every time. So
I did. Yeah, I did the Picard show, and I did Discovery for 2 seasons, and I had to tap out. But
yeah,
yeah.
Those are the ones that I watch a couple episodes, then I tap out, and then I come back. And I'm like, oh, and so I can't say I'm a fan, but I can't say that I really watch them. Although I binged the hell out of Lower Decks. I thought that was fantastic.
I keep hearing that, and at first I was real turned off. I've never watched it, but I keep hearing it's great.
Was it the comedy part of it?
What? It just looked, and I love Rick and Morty, but I was like, maybe I'm just too cynical because it was like, it just felt like, you're getting Rick and Morty in my Star Trek, and they're two different things,
Right.
If I wanted to watch that, I'd watch that, and so that's why, well, I don't know if you've seen the Orville.
Yes.
Yeah. That just scratches the itch. That's made it a lot easier because I don't love a lot of the new Star Trek, and the Orville just makes it all better. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. The Orville totally hits that. The only problem is if you're a fan of Next Gen, you watch the Orville and you're like, hey, I already know this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
They put it on a copier, and they didn't really order it from Wish, but maybe they ordered Next Gen from Temu, and it's good, but it's still that.
Yeah, it's the original is still better, but I'll take what I can get at this point,
Okay, so you've mentioned Back to the Future, you've mentioned Rick and Morty. Give me your top 3 time travel, whatever things that you're into.
Oh, okay.
Somebody's going to read Timewise, and you're like, you need to get up to speed on what time travel stuff is, and these are the awesome ones.
Okay. Let's see. Top 3. I would go with. What the first one to come to mind? I don't know if it in no particular order is. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. What is the name of that movie? It's
Give me some things in the movie.
I got it. It's About Time. Have you seen that one?
Oh, no, I haven't seen that one.
It's really, really good. And it's about time travel, and it's about this guy, And what I like about that one is they don't dwell. They do dwell on like, hey, you can't do this. It's going to reset this. But like, it's the same thing. He meets a girl and he can basically, it turns out his family, like men in his family, can go back in time. And it's a real, he doesn't have a machine or anything. And he meets
this
like girl,
a superpower for the men.
Basically, yeah. And it's really cool about like what because you can go back and redo any moment you want. So how do you craft your life? But then also like, you can't control everything. It's a very cool movie. But it's a romance. It's kind of about I love it. That's up there. That's
a good recommendation. I have not seen it.
It's great. It's the same guy that did Love Actually and a bunch of stuff. It's
the English guy. I actually saw him speak one time. He did like Love Actually. He did the one with he might have done Bridget Jones. He did all those Hugh Grant things.
Yeah, he's big on the and this is no exception. This is British as well. But
okay,
it's
cool. I'm in.
Yeah. I like that one a lot.
Okay, that's one.
I am a big. I gotta say, fantastic. Yeah, I like. I was gonna say Star Trek, but we already talked about that one.
There are no rules to this.
Well, yeah, there's no shortage of. I really like, I mean, there's tons of time travel stories, but I really like the Trouble with Tribbles. It's not Trouble with Tribbles, it's Tribbles and Tribulations.
The one wasn't it Deep Space Nine? Are you talking about that one?
Yeah.
What a great episode.
Yeah, it's great. And it's great. They go back into an episode from the original series, and it really is. It's just all about that. Another real good one from Star Trek that when they go back to it's the original series. It's City on the Edge of Forever, right?
Oh, yeah. That's the big one. That's the one that Robert Ellison supposedly wrote, but then he says they butchered my script. I didn't write it.
Yeah, that's the one. I if I have to show somebody the original series and I can't show them one of the movies,
it's an amazing episode.
It's perfect,
Yeah,
and it's just like, I like that. My whole thing is like a moral conundrum. I like the whole, I'm a big fan of VR, and it's to me it's like next gen, but in a hospital, like where it's like, well, we could do this, but then we have this, and that's what I like about it, where, you could fix this, but that, that's not going to really fix anything. It's just going to change things.
Yeah. And super cool.
Yeah.
So artists, as long as we're getting your lists, you mentioned one, but who do you think are the artists that inspired you the most?
I would say, as art wise, it would I would say like art wise, it would be like a lot of Disney guys, a lot of Terry Moore from Strangers in Paradise. A lot of
I see Strangers in Paradise in your cover, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I love I'm right above my I have a bunch of original art right above my desk, and I'm looking at a Terry Moore right now.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's but yeah, as far as art goes, yeah, it's a lot of the old Disney artists, a lot of the old stuff like that. But as far as like writing wise, guys like I think it's Alex Robinson. He did like Box Office Poison and this book Too Cool to Be Forgotten, and a lot of the indie stuff, or even like Jeff Brown. I don't know if you know Jeffrey Brown. He's doing a lot of like kids books for Disney. Like he's doing a lot of Star Wars. He does the like Vader and Son books now.
Yes. Yeah. I know exactly who that is. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, before he did that, he was doing these like brutal emotional like comics that were just like he wrote one where, and it's funny because you can see him get better as an artist as his books go. Okay. And his first one is essentially stick figures, and it's about how great his relationship is. And then while he was writing it, his girlfriend broke up with him. Oh. And it becomes about that. And it's just heartbreaking. And he's amazing. I'm so glad he like wound up, I'm sure he's doing great working for Disney now,
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. When you've got a Chuck Jones shirt on there,
Oh, yeah.
Chuck Jones Big Draw. So are you a Warner Brothers guy too?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I love Chuck Jones. You can't get, I mean, I was just watching, Wile E. Coyote the other day, and it really is just perfection for what it is. And yeah, this was like, I don't know if it was an event. I'm not sure what it was, but it was at C2E2 a few years ago, and I went and I was like, "What do you guys have going on here?" And it was basically Chuck Jones' family and runs a school, and they were having this big event to recruit people, and they were showing kids how to draw, and
cool.
And it was really, really cool. It was, but yeah, Chuck, you can't go wrong with those guys,
Chuck Jones is really, he broke my rule because I used to collect cells on that when that was a big popular thing. And I was one of those guys, you don't buy Sarah cells, you buy the original, whatever. And because otherwise it proved out, they just lose their value. They're worth nothing. But the only Sarah cell I happily bought was a Chuck Jones. He signed it. It was really cool. But it wasn't a Sarah cell of something. It was an art piece he had created, but it was in cell form, and it was reproduced in, I think there were 500 copies or something. And it was like, this is really cool. I loved that piece because I could look. It was the evolution of bugs, and cool. you could look. Well, what he did is he went back before he in the middle was the original drawings, but before that he had like him as a cave bugs, and it's like he had these funny things, and then it hits a point where you're like, oh, that was the first time he drew him for Warner Brothers, and here are the different periods ending with the glitzy marketing bugs that you became familiar with later. So it was very cool.
Wow, that sounds awesome. That sounds like an amazing piece.
It's not worth that much now, but it broke my rule, and I took it down. We were moving. So I'm not displaying it proudly, but I did for 30 years.
I wish I could have gotten something from him when he was, still around. And I was talking about Dean Eagle the other day, and it's funny. I have a ton of Teen Eagle up, and I think I've taken it down because they're a little risque, these drawings. And now you see I don't know if now you can't really see, but this is my old office, and now it's my kid's playroom. So there's a bunch of like cartoon naked women up on the wall that but
don't look too closely, kids.
Yeah, they're real little. They don't notice. But yeah, I've almost made the jump to I've never bought a cell, but I'm constantly looking at them. I'm a big Simpsons guy, and I have a bunch of production art, but I haven't pulled the trigger on an actual cell yet because it's just,
make sure it's a production one. Otherwise you spend the money and it's like buying a new car. You drive it off the lot. It's worth nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the thing. That's what's nice about the production art is like it's not worth that much, but you don't spend that much on it. Like
true. Yeah, you just want the artwork. There you go.
Exactly.
That was with this Chuck Jones thing. I was like, I love it. I'm going to pull the trigger, and we did. Yeah. So yeah, very cool. Well, okay. What cons do you have coming up?
Oh, right now we don't have anything scheduled.
Okay.
Actually, but just because the summer got so packed up with other stuff and the Kickstarter, and we just finished BellaCon, which is a smaller con in the city that just gets better I did it last year too, and it just gets better every year. It really is like creator focused, and
I love that.
And it's a good little show, But yeah, I don't think we have any scheduled right now.
Okay. Well, fair enough, because this is airing like a month and a half after we recorded. So if something comes up, contact me and I'll throw it in the show notes. So those of you listening, if you look in the show notes, it may have an update for you. Or even better, you want to follow. Where can they follow you?
So I'm on Instagram at the other Kevin Krull. All one big word. Krull is Krull, like the movie. Or through Guerrilla Publishing too. They're Guerrilla as in like not the monkey, the other way.
Guerrilla Warfare.
Guerrilla Warfare. But Guerrilla Publishing, they're at Instagram and on Facebook, and they're on all the stuff. And so
it's a great way to interact with you, buy your stuff.
Yeah, and they've actually got a bunch of cons coming up. I'm not sure exactly which ones they are, but they've got a ton.
Yeah.
And my book will be there.
Cool.
They're lucky enough to sell it when I'm not around.
So you want to follow Guerrilla Publishing, you want to follow Kevin Krull, and keep up with them. And next book, if there's a Kickstarter, I'll have him back on Go Fund This, and you can hear him talk about that and get in early on that. And otherwise, right now, find a way to pick up Timewise. It's a great book, awesome art. It's a graphic novel, 140 pages, I believe. You won't be sorry. It's really, really cool. And all right, Kevin, I got one more question that I have not been asking people on Alien Chats, and I just realized it. So you're the first of this new batch of Alien Chats that get it.
All right.
This is the only question I ask every time. This is your dream con. So there's no restrictors. Okay. Who is it you most want to meet?
First person comes to mind is Drew Carey.
Drew Carey.
Drew Carey. I'm a big Price is Right guy. And
because of Price is Right.
Well,
not because like, oh, his stand-up or oh, his show.
I loved his show back in the day, and I loved his stand-up. I wish he would do it more, but and I wish he would write a book. And I'm just fascinated with the guy because he's I don't know what it is. I just have the biggest man crush on Drew Carey.
Drew Carey. All right.
Yeah. I think we get along.
That's the first time it's been Drew Carey. So we'll tag him, and who knows, maybe he'll reach out and be like, hey, I would love to meet you too. Let's go
by
for
all means
or something. I don't know. All right. Well, actually, you can invite him out for beef or some hot dogs or some Chicago style.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything you want.
It's what we eat. All right. This was so great. Thank you so much for being on. Good luck with all this. I'd wish you luck on Timewise, but I'd have to go back in time to give you that luck to have an effective thing. But I wish you best of luck with all these future projects. And I look forward to seeing what you do with Gorilla and everything else you do.
Great. Thanks so much for having me, man. This is great.